a little welcome video for her.
Sorry, what time is it?
3:12.
Oh, I'm really late. High five, Brad. Where are you going? Comic-Con. You're late. I know. Taxi! Can you tell me how to get to Comic-Con? I'm looking for Hall H. Oh, brilliant, thank you.
We have Tosin Cole. After Tosin, another new companion, Amanda Gill, who plays Yasmin. Your new showrunner, Mr. Chris Chibnall. And last but certainly not least, Max Strevens, your new executive producer. The new Doctor Who Dream Team is assembled. Let's give them another huge round of applause. Jodie, we're very happy that you made it in time. Strict rules though, no personal use for the TARDIS, that doesn't seem fair. What has your first Comic-Con been like so far?
Loud, which is amazing. Lots and lots of support, I think. Feels like a wonderful home crowd.
Now, how about for the rest of you? Chris, I know you've been here before, but obviously this is your first time as Doctor Who showrunner.
Yes.
Did you give any of these newbies some pointers on what to expect at Comic-Con?
You can't explain Comic-Con, can you? As just walking on stage just proves. No, I was here for Torchwood in for season 1 in about 10 years ago, and it was extraordinary. We weren't in a room this big, so I think we all want to say thank you. I know lots of you have camped out. I know lots of you were waited to be here. And I know there are also people listening to this, and there'll be people who have been, people doing minute-by-minute reports and all that kind of stuff. So we see you all, and thank you, because it means the world to us that you're here today. It's massive for us. Thank you.
Now, I heard someone in the front said you were camped out since Monday. Yeah? That's when you guys arrived too, right? So, have you guys seen anyone dressed as your characters yet?
Do you know, unfortunately, been in conference room to conference room, so this is our first moment appreciating the amazing t-shirts and cosplay, and it's really exciting.
We gotta have some 13th Doctors in the crowd, right? If you're dressed as the 13th Doctor or anyone from the new season, please stand up for us right now. Can we see the lights? Can we see who's standing up? That's awesome. That's awesome. now you can see everyone. Now you can see everyone.
Turn them down.
Amanda and Tosin were like, how big is Hall H? We're like, don't worry about it, it's pretty big. Now, I do want to ask you guys, you especially Jodie, I mean, you had to keep a really big secret that you were playing the Doctor. Now everyone knows, of course, but what was it like keeping that secret from friends, family, the world?
Yeah, it was particularly hard keeping it from your kind of close friends and family, because you know, the obvious question of, do you want to do that next month? Knowing I was moving to Wales. I was like, I don't know, I might be a bit busy. I just had to kind of make out that I had a lot of social events for a long time. But no, it was amazing. And also it's good practice, because you can't say anything about the show ever. Lucky for you guys. What a great panel. So it's been really good practice to know what you can and can't say. But I have to say, the reveal was such an amazing moment because it was a secret. And I think we love the history of the show and this show going forward. And we want it always to be a surprise for the fans because it should be, and that adds it. That adds so much to it every week watching it. So, you know, no spoilers, no spoilers.
And it was a really emotional response, I think, from the fans as well to get to meet you. I think we actually have a little special something.
What's up, guys? Today is the day they announced the 13th Doctor.
Are you ready?
Here we go.
Stop it. Oh, God.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it's happening.
Okay, we have a coat.
Who do you think it's gonna be?
Oh my God, who is it?
Oh, it's someone hooded.
Okay, I'm loving the outfit already.
What if it's a girl?
Who is it? I can't tell.
Surprisingly atmospheric.
Come on. I'm being so anxious.
Oh, my heart's actually pounding.
It's a woman.
Oh, bless his heart, it's kid.
It's a woman. Oh my.
That's Jodie Whittaker.
She's blonde. I can cosplay.
You are going to be amazing. I'm overjoyed.
Hello, Jodie.
Welcome, Jodie.
Welcome, Jodie Whittaker.
Means the universe to me that you are our new 13th Doctor.
It's incredible. I think she is wonderful. So I'm just about bloody time.
I think it's great. It's about time. The future is female.
She's such a special actress, and I'm so happy for her.
I think it's about time. Welcome from New Zealand.
From Argentina. From Hungary.
To the very warm city of Dubai.
From Germany.
Bangladesh.
From Berkeley.
All the way from Holland. Lots of love from Ukraine. Love from China.
Welcome to the world of Doctor Who, Jodie.
Welcome to the Doctor Who family. I want to wish you all the best with this new adventure, and I cannot wait to see the new series. Welcome, Jodie. We're lucky to have you.
I can't wait to see you as the 13th Doctor.
Best of luck, and I believe in you.
You are going to be
You're going to be brilliant. Brilliant.
Brilliant!
Brilliant.
brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Stamp of approval, no pressure. Now, Chris, Matt, I imagine one of the most difficult things to have to choose. In addition, okay, you're coming on board Doctor Who, but now you have to pick your doctor and your new companions. So let's go down the line. Let's go through Jodie, Tosin, and Mandev and talk about what made each of these people the right fit for these roles.
Well, with Jodie, it was really, I mean, in a sense, it's the same answer for all three in the headline is, they all came in auditions, they were all amazing. And it's like as simple as that. With Jodie, I wrote some special scenes, I wrote 3 special scenes, and then Jodie and other people came in and read, and she just walked in the room and she was the doctor. And it was like one of those things, you don't know what you're looking for until you see it, and the energy she brought was just the doctor, but it was new, it was fresh, it was very funny, it was very emotional, and it's really exciting as a showrunner when you get an audition, you see an audition, and you want to write for it instantly, and it suggests scenes, and that's what happened really. So she just nailed it, and then we made her do 2 more scenes because we didn't want to be accused of not doing our due diligence, and also because we'd known each other and worked together, I wanted to be sure there was no bias or confirmation bias or anything like that. So there were 2 more recall scenes which she had to do while she was filming Trust Me in a flat in Glasgow, was it, Jodie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to make my own props. So I got a
You didn't have to.
Well, I didn't have
to. Chose to.
I really wanted the part. So I got a shoebox and filled it with iPhone wires and kind of cables, and I diffused a bomb. I absolutely nailed it.
I'm going to put you on the spot, but can we get like a little taste of what that must have been like? Because I imagine it was just like madness. Am I putting you on the spot too
Well,
much?
do you know what? I was so terrified about anyone seeing it. As soon as they sent it, I deleted it, and I've never seen it since. Because if I was the person to press send and I accidentally emailed everyone I knew with my audition tape, so it's lost in the ether unless it's been kept for some
I think that-
mortified
I don't have a secret
archive.
cue for that. I can tell you now. I wish I had that, but I do not. But let's talk about, like how you go about casting companions as well. Obviously, like there needs to be this perfect chemistry between all these three lovely people, and we have a third companion as well who could not make it today. But talk a little bit about what you were looking for, and then Tosin and Manfred, how you tried to like make these roles your own.
Well, I think with the characters of Ryan and Yaz, we were looking for people who just have incredible range, because the tone of the show demands everything, as you guys know. It's emotional, it's funny, it's scary. You've got to be able to act to nothing, as well as brilliant guest actors. And just truth, because we talked a lot about bringing emotional truth to the show, as it's always had, but it's really important for us this season particularly. There's big emotional journeys for everyone to go on. Again, he just came in, and so there was one audition which you did remotely, and then one where we came back and we did a recall with Jodie. I mean, you both did recalls with Jodie, didn't you? And Jodie at the end of both processes went, it's those two. We were like, let's go and see the tapes, let's go and, who knows what will happen.
No.
It was totally those two. It's all of them aced it, and the chemistry was really apparent. And both of you are incredibly funny and smart and have got range, and so we gave them jobs. And the chemistry is pretty amazing, as you'll see on screen. And
to answer the latter part of the question about how we make it our own, I guess we've been doing it for 9 months, so it's kind of, you do become that person, but also it's written so well. There was so much in the characters, and I remember the audition process, they were like, bring something. We weren't told what it was. There was a fake name, so I didn't know what I was auditioning for.
Big secrecy.
Yeah, but there was like make it your own and stuff. But there was so much in the script that I kind of didn't need to do an awful lot. I just needed to turn up and have fun.
I needed a job, so I went in there, did my job, and hopefully did alright, and they gave me a job, so now I'm doing my job.
Best answer, guys.
Yeah, but I didn't know Jodie was a doctor. I remember I was kind of late to the band. I remember they was like, oh yeah, the producers are going to be there. And I did the audition, and I was like, yeah, there's a woman reading the doctor. Like, who is she? But she was a doctor.
We came to set the other day with some big breaking news about 2 weeks late, saying we'd had some terrible spoilers that no one has seen. And he walked on set late, and I was like, you never guess what, guys, this awful thing is happening. We were like, yeah. It was last week. Tosin.
No, I thought.
It was times.
I had a couple of days off, and I came back. I was like, yeah, guys, I know you're happy to see me. I'm back. Save your old clothes. Then I was on the phone to my friend. Then I hanged up, and he called me back. He was like, yo. And I was like, guys, guess what? There's been a leak. And he's like, yeah, 2 weeks later. Bro. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. Just sharing information. I guess it's not important. I'll keep my mouth closed. Yeah.
What was it like finally getting to tell your friends and family? Like, what were some of the best reactions you all got?
I told everyone straight away. I told everyone straight away. Like, when I got the call, I was with my friend. He was like, what happened? I was like, yeah, she got Doctor Who. He's like, oh, sick, man, sick. I was like, yeah, same. Then, like, when I was in London, I told one of Jodie's co-workers, oh, you're going to a screening that day. Yeah. So I saw one of my friends, and I was like, yeah, man. He's like, what are you up to, Tosin? I'm like, yeah, man, I just got Doctor Who. He's like, oh, cool. Later at the screen, Jodie. I was like, oh.
He was like, oh, I think you're about to work with my friend. I was like, I think you're not supposed to know that, mate.
So I told everybody.
Yeah, so don't ask Tosin anything. He's unreliable.
Maybe he is the person you guys should have down at
Please don't. I'll get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble.
Now I do want to talk a little bit about, obviously, we saw you in the reveal for the first time, we found out you were playing the Doctor, but then in Twice Upon a Time, we finally got to meet her for the first time in the Regeneration. I cannot be alone in getting a bit emotional watching that scene. Please cheer if you are, you also got a bit emotional seeing the Doctor emerge. What was shooting that scene like, technically like your first scene in the show as the Doctor?
It was incredibly nerve-wracking because all the reveal had happened. It's a bit of an odd one, this one, because with most jobs you shoot it and then you do press about it and it comes out. But obviously with this show, you're announced and you have no idea what you've kind of taken on board. You have a sense of it, but you don't know. And also, my first, and I think, was it 2 days shooting?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Regen, it was 2 days. I was in somebody else's costume, and I was on their set, I was in their TARDIS, and I was nervous to touch anything. I felt as if I was very much in someone else's shoes, which is a wonderful way to kind of start this journey. And it was amazing. The crew are brilliant. We have a laugh every second of the day, and we're working with some incredibly passionate and talented people who can create these wonderful things out of tiny acorns of idea and grow into these huge, wonderful trees. And we rock up and, fingers crossed, and do our best. And so I got to meet the family of the crew, who some of them have been on it for how many years? Like 10 years 30. In Cardiff. And so I felt like I was walking into my new home, but it felt like I was just kind of on the doormat. So it was wonderful. But then once we started, and obviously the moment in the episode, if anyone hasn't seen it, quite a few things happen. There's a lot of, kind of special SFX and kind of, the explosions, and I suppose I get slightly rejected. But it was amazing to film because I've never shot anything like that. Just in those 2 days of filming, it was brand new, and I know for a fact, speaking to previous Doctors and comparing it to any other job I've ever done, this can't compare. This is a journey you can't kind of explain, and you just have to do this all the time. It's just magical.
And there was an extraordinary thing that happened that day, which Jodie's too much to say, but we were on set, and the crew, so the first take and the first setup that Rachel Talalay, who directed that sequence brilliantly, did, yeah. Hi Rachel, out there somewhere. That she did, they set it up, and the Jodie came on, but already did the take. And sort of a lot of the crew gravitated towards the monitor, and the ones who were working on the floor, and then gradually they sort of all came up to us, and we were just sitting there. You talk about emotional moments, we were sitting there silently crying, going, oh my God. And all the crew who'd been working on it for years just went, oh, she's the Doctor. And everybody just came up, well, she's the Doctor now. And it was a really magical thing, but it's the amazing thing about that show, the sort of spirit that just passes through. And the crew are a massive part of that, and the production team in Cardiff, but it was a special day where it was the moment when you felt, oh, we've got a chance here, because they're the harshest, there's a lot of tough guys on that crew, and they would tell us if she didn't look like she was the Doctor, and they were like, yeah, okay, yeah, moving on.
We also finally got to meet in the World Cup teaser. We got to look at Yaz and Ryan as well. I've been told I personally know nothing about these characters. This is a big secret. But what was it like sort of shooting those scenes? And what should we know about what to expect from these two characters?
Yeah.
The teaser that went out over the weekend.
Like okay, if you've seen the teaser's like 40 seconds, yeah? Like my bit's like 50. I spent 7 hours doing the same thing. Over and over.
Knew he was gonna moan.
Over and over and over and over again. I was frustrated. I was like, how do
it looked good though. It looked good, dude.
You don't even like egg.
I didn't even like eggs, so I had to smell eggs and stuff. Oh, mate, it was just, the things you do for your job, guys,
We, like, the day-to-day, we obviously on the show, because it's like a well-oiled machine, it's like there's a real energy and a pace, and we kind of achieve so much, and then
7 hours, John.
Promo day, like, Tosin, just eat the egg.
I can't eat. I didn't eat the egg, but I don't eat eggs. Like it stinks. I don't understand how you eat something that stinks. I don't eat eggs. Please don't egg me, please.
I feel like we're getting some interesting stuff out of this panel about you that the fans can take away and apply in the next few days. But obviously, well, I do want, Amanda, why don't you talk a little bit about what it was like playing Yaz in that?
What's it like playing or what's she like?
Both, as much as you can give us.
Yaz is a 19-year-old girl from Sheffield. I've got to be careful what I say because...
You've just blown it like 3 words already. It's done. We're out of here.
She enjoys her job, but I guess she's got a little bit... I feel like she thinks she can do a little bit more, so she asks for a little bit more and she gets a little bit more. And she's whisked on this amazing adventure with these people that then become her family. And she's in absolute awe of the Doctor and completely believes what the Doctor's saying as truth. She kind of she always questions what she's doing. She always goes along with it. So and then they create these beautiful relationships between Tosin's character and Brad's character, and the dynamic between the three friends is beautiful, and it develops nicely over the course of the 10 episodes. And the way we get on with the Doctor, we're very, very different. We all bring something completely different.
Well, that actually is a perfect segue, because I was going to ask about Brad. We don't have our third companion here today, sadly, but I was hoping you guys could talk a little bit about what it's like working with him, so you can bring his spirit to life. I hear he's a bit of a character, a bit of a funny guy.
Yeah, showbiz.
He's amazing, and he's very difficult to describe if you don't know him. And I don't know, actually, across the water, in the UK,
I'm going to make a bold statement.
Go on, bold.
He is the funniest man I've ever had the pleasure of working with.
Right, brilliant. Well, she just went there.
Yeah.
He is. It's hard to explain it, because he's just daft. And it's like he's a grown man, but he's like a child.
He's so naughty. He's so naughty, it's unreal.
I've never heard so many fart noises on stage in takes. And you're just like, I was doing my hero speech. And he was like, I know, it was funny. I was like, okay, brilliant. And he's there's a lot of practical jokes. I mean, any set is his toy shop for hiding bits of the set in a crew member's hood or anything.
Or just I've got this band on the back of my leather jacket, and the amount of times I've headed into a scene and been pulled back and I'm just in and out of a shot like that, and it just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop, but it's really funny.
I can't imagine what the rushes are like. But Graham's, the character he plays, Graham, is a brilliant kind of dynamic for us, because we've got these three youthful, I'm counting myself as youthful, energised characters. And,
okay.
And Graham is certainly the most cautious of the characters, isn't he, of the friends. He'd love a chair in every scene, and probably a sandwich.
And Matt, you have a funny anecdote about him as well, right?
Well, I felt as though let's let the side down, bring the EP and not bringing Brad on. So when we got to the airport, it felt like Home Alone. It was like, where's Kevin? But it's where's Brad? And so actually, what I tried to do is sort something out. So Terry, can you help me with that as well?
Yeah, I think we have something.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Oh my goodness,
These guys.
This is Jodie Whittaker's trailer. Yes, The Doctor. I'm sorry I can't be with you at Comic-Con. This is Bradley Walsh, Rothlock, Cardiff, aka Graham O'Brien, the Doctor's companion. I've been in her trailer. Now you're all out there in San Diego while the Doctor's away. Companions will play. Hey, diddly-dum, diddly-dum, skiddly-bim, diddly-bim, 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 skiddly-bim, diddly-bim, skiddly-bim, diddly-bim, skiddly-bim, diddly-bim, diddly-bim, diddly-bim.
So you saw the Doctor's trailer here, but I don't think that's the Doctor trailer you guys were expecting, right? All right, we know what you guys all came here for. You see the cast? Let's roll the Doctor Who new season trailer.
Brilliant.
All of this is new to me. New faces. New worlds. New times. So if I asked really, really nicely, would you be my new best friends? Right. This is gonna be fun.
Really don't want us to know what you have cooking for the new season, huh? What do you think is most important that the fans who just got to watch that take away from what you do have planned for the upcoming season?
I think there's a lot of new things this year. I think there's new worlds, there's new characters, there's lots of new guest characters.
We can say
I'm trying to bust that. I just don't think.
New dialogue.
New dialogue,
Script.
new camera angles. What else?
Sort of new look, new cameras.
We're shooting on anamorphic lenses.
Much better catering. Really good.
Well, a spin maybe something you can speak to a little bit more. Why the secrecy? Like, why don't you? You know, it's really cool and a rare opportunity for the Doctor Who fandom to like have basically an entirely new creative team. So what do you want people to know about sort of the approach that you're taking to an upcoming season like that?
I think the biggest thing to say about secrecy, in a way, is secrecy is not an end in itself. It's not like, I mean, we are making this to put on television. It's not like we're doing it just to keep it secret, put it on a shelf and go, oh, that looks really cool. So it's really just so that we can get it to you guys and everyone in the world at the same time, all polished and all right and all exciting. And that it becomes, I think, I really love television when it's a communal experience. And the more that we can bring Doctor Who to being a communal experience so that you guys have it unspoiled at that time when we're ready to go to air, I think it would be really awesome because I want you guys to all be talking about it at the same time and we have things you're not going to want to be spoiled for, frankly. So
Could you imagine going to the cinema to watch a film, but you see the ending in the trailer?
yeah, a lot of trailers do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that happens sometimes.
You're literally going to watch that film and you see the ending before you get to start the film.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, also what we're getting a big kick out of is looking at social media and everything else and all the speculation that's out there. And we think that's part of the fun for fans and audiences is to sort of try and figure out what they think we're doing and then we nick some of those ideas as well. Put them in the show. But it's that is great. And we just don't think the audience and the fans want to know what's coming before they see it before we're ready to show.
One thing you guys did have in there, and I'm guessing pretty much everyone in this room saw it, but we did get our first glimpse of the new sonic screwdriver. And actually, Jodie, I think you have a closer look for us, even if I'm not mistaken, maybe? What? Stuck that in there. Figured you might be excited to show everyone. Hi, guys. And now what's even more exciting, beyond the fact that Jodie has it right now, is you all can have it as well. I want you all to know this is available at the BBC America shop at booth 4129 right now. Please don't leave until the end of the panel. We have more exciting stuff ahead, but that's awesome. Can you guys talk a bit about the design, about sort of reconceptualizing the screwdriver? What you're looking for?
Yeah, there's a very specific way that the Doctor comes by this sonic screwdriver. That's where that sentence ends, I'm really but it's a sentence. It's designed by our new production designer, Arwell Jones, who has some of you guys will know from Sherlock and Sarah Jane Adventures and Torchwood and all kinds of shows. It's made out of some interesting components, which you'll find out about in episode 1. So, I think any more than that, there is a story to how the Doctor comes by this sonnet.
Those are some teases, guys. I'm so proud of you. You're
It's like, I feel like I need some therapy.
We'll talk about this after. No. But I do want to ask, what was it like for your first table read for episode 1? What was that experience like?
We had a secret one, didn't we? Do you remember the little secret day that we had before? Yeah, you see? Nobody knows this. This is the thing. I do it. It's a secret.
Yeah.
Because the big table read.
That was before these guys were announced, wasn't it?
Yeah, we took the photo that day.
Yeah.
So we had a thing, so you do an official table read, and there were, the official table read, there was like 80 people there. It was in a studio at Rothblock where we make the show, and everybody's there, and it was, so we really didn't want that to be the first time we read episode 1. Jodie had to say certain things. You had to say as a new Doctor.
Quite an important sentence. What were you going to spoil you?
Oh, what?
Toasted.
Don't worry about it.
Sit back. It's stressing me out.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Don't ask him what he
Don't worry about it.
Oh, am I allowed to say X? Now I do want to say, of course, we're going to get to fan questions. So it's about that time. So if you do have questions, we have some mics set up in the room. I can't really see where they are, but they exist, I promise. Over there, we got some. So if you, maybe over here.
Oh, wow.
But as we're letting people line up, and it looks like we have a little bit of a line already, I want to run through a lightning round of some questions, you guys. Now, the faster the answer, the quicker we get to fan questions. So I'm putting you on the spot. First up, Cybermen or Daleks?
Cybermen.
Cybermen.
Daleks.
Both.
That's cheating.
Yeah, I'm going to be cooking.
Yeah? Okay. Who would you cosplay as if you could cosplay as anyone at Comic-Con?
Sloth. Goonies. Straight in there. I've given you no time to think about it. Toasting it goes me.
Batman.
Wonder Woman.
I'd go as Tom Baker.
Austin Powers.
Yeah. We're already doing that.
And last but not least, if you could go anywhere or anywhen in the TARDIS, where would it be?
I would go to, I would say, 100 years in the future. Because what's going on then?
The 80s, New York 80s. Yeah, that's my favorite era, so I'll probably go right now.
I've got loads of answers. I'm going to say I'm going to go back to when the pyramids were made, just so that I could tell people how it was done, and if it really was aliens.
I'd go to the Cavern Club, Liverpool, 1962, lunchtime. See the Beatles play at lunchtime set.
I would go to 1969 Las Vegas, the International Hotel, Elvis's first time on stage live for 8 years.
Those are some good darn answers. Okay, cool. Let's get to some fan questions. Who we got up first?
Hi, I'm the button lady. This is my Doctor Who cape. Everything on here is Doctor Who.
Wow.
Amazing.
My question is, Jodie, first of all, 13 is my lucky number too. And I was wondering if there was a jar on the set where people might have to pay £1 if they refer to the Doctor with male pronouns.
No, it wasn't. We've not had. Do you know, I was guilty of it when I was auditioning and trying to learn my lines. I kept going, oh, it's so hard because he says this line. I was like, man, we are indoctrinated to not ever put ourselves a little bit higher. And so, but no, I've had no one refer to me as a he, but I very often just get called the Doctor. So there you go. we do a £1 draw on a Friday, just for fun.
Hi. This is actually a question for all of you. If you were able to make an episode with some wibbly timey-wimey stuff happening, which doctors or companions from the past would you like your character to go on an adventure with? Or for the producers and the makers, who would you bring in just for fun?
Well, you got to that first.
I'd bring David Tennant along. I knew the reaction that would get you.
Yeah, I'd bring David Tennant.
Ryan.
Companions, I only bring us. I bring us.
You bring us. I'll bring Ryan and Amy Pond because she seems fun.
It's hard, isn't it? I want to bring all of them in one massive. Just bring everybody. Yeah, love to see Amy back and Rory and Matt, but yeah, it's hard. That's impossible. I'm really sorry.
Oh God. Yeah, it's exactly the same. On a personal note, I'd love to. I'd bring back David yet again, David Bradley, because he's just so lovely. It's impossible to choose. It'd be great to get them all on.
Jodie, I actually did want to ask, and forgive me if you have spoken about this before, but what was David's reaction to you getting the role?
Obviously the news was a secret, as we have to keep saying. But because obviously I know David and Chris is very good friends with him, he said, look, the person who's getting announced tomorrow is a little bit nervous, so can they give you a ring, just, so they, not a she, they can ask you a few questions. He said, so it'll, in the next 10 minutes, just keep an eye on your phone. And my name popped up and he went, what? And he was like, why are you calling me? I was like, and then I went, and asked about a million questions. And all I remember him saying, and I actually was looking to speak to Matt and Peter, and all I remember of it all was, this is the most amazing thing that can happen to you. And there's only a few of us who know how it feels. And I thought, oh wow, okay, cool.
Next question.
Hello.
Nice cosplay.
You look great.
It's not bad. I like it.
It's comfy, isn't it?
It's very comfy. I love the jacket. Jacket made by my best friend. She's a wonderful person. That story you just told is kind of a segue into what I wanted to ask you. The legacy of the Doctor, where children will write to the Doctor, and not to you, not to David Tennant, but to like the institution of the Doctor, the idea of the Doctor, means so much to so many people around the world. I was wondering what kind of impact that's had on you already, when it hasn't even really started yet. What kind of impact being the legacy of the Doctor is for you?
It was, I suppose, particularly because I had a few months of complete secrecy from finding out I got the job to the reveal. It can be overwhelming because being British is kind of a fabric of our childhoods. You might not have sat and watched it, but TARDIS is used in everybody's vocabulary, and knowing that this was it's within the rules of the show, the new direction. But I knew, obviously, being the first female, it was going to have some maybe extra responsibility thrown in. But it's incredibly inclusive, and it also feels, knowing that the fans are all over the world, it's immediately felt like this huge Whovian family that you want to be a part of, because it's so supportive and inclusive and fun. And actually, the madness will be a part of this, and it's shared with 12 other Doctors that I'm so lucky to be in that list of. So I think for me, what would I have said to myself at 8 if I thought I was in this position? I wouldn't be moaning about it. So it's only to enjoy, but we're standing on their shoulders, so hopefully we do them all proud.
Woo!
Hi, my name's Amelia, and I've actually been waiting for a girl doctor for a very long time.
You'll make me cry.
And I was wondering if there are going to be any certain if you're gonna have any different things instead of like the other doctors that were boys, if there are any like girl things.
I think the thing about this role, which is why it's so amazing for any actor to play the role, is that essentially gender is irrelevant, and that's completely liberating. I've never really, as a woman who isn't a genre, is just a woman, I've never approached a role from thinking, oh, how would a woman do this? I've just done it from my perspective. But the wonderful thing about playing the Doctor is you know, I'm playing an alien. So all those rules are kind of irrelevant to the approach. But what you do notice, and I think I'm allowed to say, I'm going to quickly. Sometimes within episodes, smooth, yeah, really smooth. Sometimes within episodes, the other people's response is different because they're speaking to a woman, and that's interesting. That's why this role will continue to be, you know, layered and fascinating to play because I suppose of everyone else.
Actually, I did want to hop in with a question. What do you guys consider to be the core tenets, unintended, maybe a little intended, the core tenets of the Doctor and who that person is, and what is the stuff that's up for reinterpretation upon regeneration?
I'd say, to me, the Doctor is, I suppose, I don't know, a pillar of hope and striving for brightness and inclusion.
Not much to add to that, is there
Okay.
really? Yeah,
Cool.
Pillar of Hope is exactly. I think that's who Jodie's Doctor is. I think what you'll find is it's the Doctor you've known and loved with just a fresh take. Really, it's the thread is still there. You know, it's very important the Doctor's a pacifist. It's very important that the Doctor has a sense of humour. The Doctor solves things through brains, not punching or bullets. So the Doctor's still very much the Doctor. But Pillar of Hope, we need a Pillar of Hope in these times, and that Pillar of Hope is Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. She just said it's not her, it's the Doctor.
Next question.
Told myself I wouldn't get nervous, but I already am.
So are we. It's all right. It's okay.
All right. I just really quickly want to say that I super admire the role of the Doctor and that you guys have taken this on. I'm really excited to see what you guys bring to the table and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just like ecstatic about it. Anyway, so we have like the previous Doctors, like 10, he was like happy-go-lucky, angsty at times, and then we have 11 who's just like super like running around and like getting stuff done. Like personality-wise, can you tell us anything about 13?
Would say, I haven't seen it. So obviously we're shooting and I don't watch playback very much. We've not seen any of the cuts of the episode. So as far as I think I'm doing, there's a lot. I feel like this Doctor requires a lot of energy, a lot of childish wonder, a lot of
You're stern when you need to be.
what?
You're stern when you need to be.
Stern.
Stern, bubbly, energetic.
Lovely, that's good.
Sometimes she gets a little angry.
Angry, playful. It's very playful. It's a very playful Doctor, I feel. Somebody help me.
Fidgety. I'm quite fidgety.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of stillness, I'm afraid.
and this comes across in the cuts you haven't seen, a joy for life, and that this Doctor is in love with life and keeps pushing for life and loves new experiences and treats everything with a sense of awe and wonder and respect. But it's the joy that Jodie brings to the part that is, which was there, as Chris said, on the first day when we watched the monitors, and it's never stopped since. It's a joyous.
But it's fun as well because we've got 3 companions in this friendship group. It's an ensemble piece, and that is really apparent when you're on set and when you're in the scenes, and everyone's dynamic brings something new to the table every scene, which is brilliant and continually really creative.
Next question.
Hi guys, she kind of touched on my question, but obviously each new actor brings something unique to the Doctor. So I was wondering if each of you could give 3 words that best sums up Jodie's Doctor.
young.
Thanks, Tosin.
Bubbly, and
Funny.
Oh, yeah, funny, yeah.
I'm going to copy him, but a different word. Humorous, witty.
Oh, two.
And, no, I'm really think about this. No, energetic.
Oh, it's getting hard now, isn't it? It's like a panel.
Quite
game.
narcissistic, this, just sitting and
I would go really flipping awesome.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I like Mike Myers.
Can I have a hyphen? I'm going to go effervescent, kick-ass.
I didn't know you were using big words. I would have done mine again.
Can I have another go?
It's too late. I don't want to go.
For our next question, it looks like we got a TARDIS.
Hi guys, so Doctor Who is known for its monsters and creatures, so what were you guys most excited to face?
Without giving anything away. It's very different to the kind of work that I've done. So I literally just wanted to be chased by a monster, any monster. And it turns out you're not chased by any monster. They're usually like, you're looking at tennis balls on tripods and lasers that the cameraman's holding up, yeah.
I know when we see the episodes, it's going to be amazing for us. When me, Tosin, and Brad are looking at the right point, and Mandy is staring in completely the wrong direction. And Mandy is there. We had a scene where we just can't tell what we were doing, but we shot, for some reason, in the order of the scenes, we shot like the reaction to something happening, and then we shot what happened, and we all realised that the reaction, you're like, whoa. And what actually happened in real life, we all went, oh my God! Oh man, we did it wrong, It's so, sometimes that kind of, this is all new for us, the kind of world of CGI. And
I mean, you trust that the director's gone, you aren't done enough or you're just doing too much. But we just don't know. Like, sometimes things are going to be this big for me, and they're probably going to be about this big for Tosin.
Yeah. But sometimes we get it wrong. I remember we was doing one scene, and I was thinking, what are we actually looking at? I was like, I got proper self-conscious, and I was like, I don't know if I'm doing it too big, too small. And I must have looked out, and I saw everyone had like different reactions, and I was like, yo, what's everyone looking at? Then like they brought a picture of what we were supposed to react to. I was like, I wasn't nowhere near that. I was nowhere near that reaction.
we've had some extraordinary prosthetics. Like, to the point where, you know, you're working with actors, you see them pre-makeup, you see them then post-makeup, and you're like, oh yeah. And it's a bit, like, it's terrifying, and does that ruin anything?
No, I think the thing to say as well to your question is there are a lot of new monsters this year. There are a lot of new things that won't mean anything to you now, but these guys have got a lot of new villains and monsters ahead of them.
Can you talk about the balance between CGI and practical? Sorry. No. I want to hear what you have to say.
I think we've it's always great in this show because we have great practical effects guys, and the show's always benefited from both, and I think we were very keen to make sure that nothing feels too digital. We have a new effects company this year, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a big thing for us, and following the lead currently in looking at people like J.J. Abrams and Spielberg, and they love practical in-camera stuff. We love that as well, and so what we've tried to do is balance digital effects, which look incredibly realistic, with visceral stuff. So the actors can respond to something on set, which is always much, much better than that. And also, it just looks, it has that kind of tactile feel. It's a bit more roughed up. It's a bit less polished and clean looking. So I think that was very important.
I had to break the news that I am scared of fire, and when on day one in the regen and there was a lot of sparks going off, I was like, right, I've got to really have a word with myself, and actually, without giving it away, there's sometimes some sparks, there might be some things going bang, and once you're around it and you're working within this energy and the adrenaline is pumping, I have to say I've got a lot braver, haven't I, guys? I've got a lot braver. But it's nerve-wracking because it's real. You know, I was like, can we just draw in that bang? And they're like, no, there's going to be an explosion. Okay, great. You know? What?
I can't give it away, but it's a private joke now.
There was one time that she was really scared. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was really near me. It was really...
But the funny thing, it wasn't even for her, it was for someone else. For someone else, she got scared for someone else.
That. It was real. Well, it was just that I had to concentrate. I had a lot of lines, and all I could see was hazard. My focus. Oh. We have time for one, maybe two questions if we get through them fast. So let's go to the next question. Cool costume.
Nice.
So I'd say hi and welcome to everyone. And I know that with Stephen Moffat, he kind of set up a lot of things like the Weeping Angels and stuff before he became showrunner. Are we going to see maybe some of that, like some returning things from Torchwood or anything like that?
No, not really, not this year. It's a lot of new stuff this year. I mean, we've got 10 standalone stories. We've got lots of new villains, lots of new monsters, lots of new characters for you to fall in love with. And I think, you know, my big message to you guys out here, you gotta help us, because obviously we know how much you love the show. It's like this year is the perfect jumping on point for that person in your life who has never watched Doctor Who, and I want you to go out there and recruit that person and sit them down for Jodie's first episode so you can go, see? And so there is no barrier to entry this year. It's always great with it, as you know, with a new Doctor, when a new Doctor comes in, and new friends. It's a great moment to bring everybody on board. And so it's a big, inclusive, mainstream, accessible series of 10 really varied, exciting, standalone stories. So you won't see very much from the past. There'll be little things here and there which you guys are going to spot, because you know we have a lot of love for the show and a lot of knowledge for the show. But as much as anything, I think our job is, where does the show go next? What are the surprises for us as well as for you? So less old stuff returning and more new treats.
Well, I'm going to do last question, super quick, and then super quick answer.
Okay, this is for everybody here. Obviously, we're having new monsters, but are there any classic monsters from the original series that you really like to bring back in the next season?
Chris?
I'm not sure I'm going to announce it in Hall H this year. I don't know, I haven't started thinking about that yet. Maybe, yeah, there's always things. I mean, there's a long list, isn't there? Come on, we've all got our lists. No, I haven't thought about it at the moment. I would never rule it out. There's so many great things in the back catalogue. So, triples.
Chances we see Daleks this year. Got it, right? What are the chances we see Daleks this year?
Well, we've got 2 weeks left of shooting. We haven't seen any yet.
All right, we still got time, don't worry.
Yeah,
okay, before we let you guys go, I do want to go down the line, and Matt, we'll start with you. I think, obviously, it's clear this is a very special show to all of us as fans and all of you guys creating it, so I want to start with Matt and Jodie. What does it mean to you to be in Doctor Who?
I couldn't, but I mean, I'm just lost for words. It's just incredible. I grew up with Doctor Who. My first Doctor I remember seeing was, wasn't even Tom Bates, John Pertwee. So to be part of it and to sit in meetings where you're talking about the casting of the new Doctor, the casting of the new Friends, and building the new sets and new worlds, it's just awesome and awe-inspiring, and to reinvent it for a new generation is just fantastic.
Yeah, it means everything. It's the most joyous job, it's the most hard work, but it's the most rewarding work. Doctor Who has just been, my first memory, it's embarrassing, my first memories of being alive are of watching Doctor Who. So I feel like I've been apprenticing this for a long time. My kids are in the audience out there, and My oldest, I took him on the TARDIS when I wrote my first episode. We have a picture of him when he was 4 on the TARDIS. He's 14 and 6'4" out there now. Hi, Cal. And my youngest was a little baby in a little blanket on the TARDIS in that picture. So for us as a family, it's really special as well to keep that coming through. I think the privilege of carrying it on and the excitement of introducing you to these guys is so massive for me and for us. But also we know what it means, and everyone back in Cardiff is working for you, I promise, and they are the most passionate, most dedicated, and I really think we've got something really special for you come the autumn. Fall.
It literally means the world to me. The show is massive back at home. My brother-in-law is a huge fan. So I just wanted to, like, when I was auditioning, he'd once said to me about a year ago, he's like, man, if you get one episode of Doctor Who, I have to come. And then, I'm a friend. It literally, it means so much to me. I've had an amazing time. I've never said thank you to you guys for getting me on board. Thank you to the fans and the people that watch it for allowing it to change so much and allowing new people to come on, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it means as much to you as it does to me.
I love my job. No, I'm happy to be on board of such an iconic show. It's something new for me, and I'm looking very forward to the journey and to the experience and see how you guys react to it. And yeah, Mom, I'm going to be on TV, Mom, yay!
So I was, and it's probably a huge shock, but I was born in the 80s. And I didn't know, when I was growing up, and you looked up to people in films and shows that were doing the things I wanted to do. I didn't want to stand at the side giggling and clapping. I wanted to run about and jump about and do all those things, and those people didn't really look like me. So I hope we as friends are what young kids can now look up to and go, oh man, I want to do that. Well, you can, because we are, and we want you all on our journey with us. Thank you so much for this. It's made all of our movements, and you all stood in a very, very long line, and it means the world to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone so much for joining us today for this Doctor Who panel in Hall H. You of course can catch Doctor Who worldwide and on BBC America in the US this fall. As we say goodbye, why don't we run that trailer one more time? Thanks everyone.
Oh, Berlin.